Next up, at UFC Vegas 92, we have the featured prelim of the evening. We have Abus Magomedov taking on Warlley Alves. Abus Magomedov, bit of a skid. 2 losses in a row. He was supposed to be that guy. Even though he came into the UFC with a couple of losses, he was supposed to be that guy. He doesn't seem to be, though. But if you dig in a little bit, you're going to see the losses are kind of quality losses. Maybe not the way he lost, but they're to quality opponents. Abus Magomedov, 25-6 overall. 3-2 in his last 5. He is riding a 2-fight skid. He's taken on Warlley Alves, 14-7 in his career. Only 1-4 in his last 5. He is riding a 3-fight skid. Abus Magomedov was supposed to be that guy. And I think this matchup is to get him back to being that guy. He's a versatile striker. He's got decent wrestling as a backup plan. He's got very sneaky power because it doesn't look like he's throwing anything big. It doesn't look like he's throwing things with intent, but he can touch people and they will go down. He's a long striker. He does a great job using that length to counter and to keep people at the end of his strikes. He will throw everything, tight hooks, head kicks, straights right up the middle, but he is also pretty hittable. He does recognize if he's on the wrong end of some striking exchanges, and then he will adjust accordingly and shoot some shots. He had that first loss to Sean Strickland where he got finished, but Sean moved on, became the middleweight champion of the world. And now he currently just came off of a also respectable, but not great loss to Caio Borralho. You're kind of hoping he was going to keep that fight standing and piece up Caio, and he just wasn't able to do that. He's taking on Warlley Alves. Warlley Alves is giving Diego Ferreira from last week type vibes. He comes out, he swings heavy. He's a BJJ black belt. He throws wild. He'll set up takedowns. He'll use BJJ. Nothing he does is great, but everything he does is powerful. He is kind of a dog. He can be finished, but he lays it all out there. Even though he's not technical on his feet, he's very dangerous. He's always hunting for a knockout. He bombs away looking for a finish. He is coming off that knockout loss to Ikram Aliskirov, where he did have good forward pressure, and he did take a bunch of shots before he was finished, and Ikram is very, very good. I do think Abus wins this fight. I also don't think he's the guy that everybody thought he was going to be. The odds sort of reflect that. Open at -475, bet down to -300. 3-1 makes sense. He's taking on a guy that is 1-4 in his last 5. He's taken on the easiest opponent he has had in a few years, and that's not a slight to Warlley Alves, but Abus has been fighting maybe top 5. You think Caio Borralho's top 5 at middleweight?
Probably.
Yeah, so he's fighting 2 guys in the top 5, one of them who immediately moved on to become champion. So I do think Abus Magomedov wins this fight. He is a dangerous guy himself, but his confidence might be lacking, and he might be a little risk adverse here after getting knocked out by Sean Strickland. So I do think Abus wins this fight, and I think the over 1.5 is a sneaky good bet. I think this fight's going to go a little long. What do you think, Jakey Bombalotes?
Yeah, Abus ain't that dude, man. I mean, he's a talented dude. And definitely there's a chance that he finishes a guy like Warlley in the first round because he's got the striking and the talent to beat people. But as far as being a quitter, being a non-competitor, as I would say, that's never going to go away. You saw that in Strickland, just turtle up, whatever. So he comes in the next fight, and you're going to say, oh, he improved his cardio. He learned his lesson. He improved his cardio in the second fight. No, the fuck he didn't. They just basically stared at each other for 2 rounds. It's the second the pace picked up again, he was in the 3rd round tired. He didn't automatically quit right then, but it's the same old bullshit, the same old cardio bullshit. I think this is going to play out, in my opinion, exactly how it's a little bit different, but I think this is Billy Golf and Trey Waters, right? If Billy Golf stayed at distance against Trey Waters, he was going to lose that fight. What did I say? Billy Golf was a guy that's going to get in the pocket. He's going to make it a fucking nasty fight. And that's exactly what he did. And some people think that he actually won that fight. And I think there's an argument to be made there. The difference is Abus doesn't have the fucking heart that Trey Waters has. Trey Waters hung in there, was landing back, was doing what he needed to do to get in that fight and end up winning that fight. Warlley Alves is a guy that is kind of like a Billy Golf. Now, he can't eat the shots that Billy can eat, probably, but he can make it that nasty fight. You saw him against Ikram, another big prospect. He fucking just went right at Ikram. And people are like, oh, he got knocked out with the knee. He actually kind of ate that knee. And then Ikram was kind of all over him and ended up getting that finish, but he kind of ate that knee. But he went right. He's not going to be scared of Abus. He's going to go right at Abus. And if he survives which I think he definitely can, being in the pocket. Because Abus strikes, he wants that big front kick, right? He wants those big, long-rangey shots. And what I say about Trey Waters, if he's in the pocket, he's just another dude, man. You take away that length, they just become normal people. And I think Warlley can get in this dude's face early, extend this fight into the second round. And once this gets to the second round, if this is the second round, I don't care what the fuck Abus did in the first round, Warlley's going to win this fight. I think he can find his finish in the second or the third round if Abus can get to that situation. Obviously, it's an issue betting a guy like Warlley because he can be chinned, and I respect the danger of a boost early. But if you're in this dude's face, I think he's just another dude. And if he starts getting desperate with the wrestling because of the pressure, we know Warlley's got that wild-ass guillotine as well to be ready for him. So I'm going Warlley here.
Yeah, that guillotine submitted Kobe Covington back in the day. Listen, I agree with you. I don't agree with you on the pick, but I agree with you that Warlley can make this. We just watched a 40-year-old. Warlley's not even old. He's 33. The problem is he's a bit chinny, though. But we just watched a 40-year-old beat Mataus Rebecki. And just by making it a dogfight. Mataus didn't, people called it a fraud check. Would you consider that fight a fraud check? A little off topic. I don't think so. I thought Mataus went out there and fought his ass off.
Yeah, that was, it was an interesting fight. It was a poor game, and I can't believe that was he's an ATT guy because there should have been more wrestling involved early.
Yes.
I mean, he just went in there headhunting, and he landed a few good shots. I mean, a lot of those shots he landed were fucking.
He dropped them
knockout
twice.
shots.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the luck of the draw. Like I said, I'll never trash people for gassing when they're trying to finish a fight, and it was obvious that he was trying to finish a fight, but he should have been more aware that Diego was going to hang in there, and he should have been better in that type of situation. But I mean, I would watch, if you guys think Warlley's a gasser and stuff, watch the third round of that Nicholas Dalby fight and then come back and talk to me about Warlley Alves.
Yeah, listen, I've got respect for Warlley Alves. The only reason I brought up that Rebecca fight, he gives Diego Ferreira vibes. Like, if his chin is there, he's swinging. Like, if he's not knocked out, he is swinging, he is fighting. And we just mentioned, yes, he got finished by Aliskirov. Aliskirov is good as hell. Aliskirov is 10 times the fighter Abus is. And Aliskirov cracked him a bunch of times and didn't put him out immediately. Aliskirov, woo.
He doesn't give a fuck. He'll go right at you.
Yeah, I am still picking Abus. I'm not trying to flip my pick here, but I am adding context. And I said this in my quick picks when the other day, Abus, I think, was minus 240 just the other day. And I was like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I actually think he's decent value there because I think Abus is actually going to use the reach, going to stay on the outside, pick him apart. I think he is going to work in a takedown or two. I think Abus is not going to entertain a pocket slugfest, and that's what he needs to do. Don't entertain a slugfest in the pocket, and you can win this fight because Warlley will try to take your head off. Forget his jiu-jitsu black belt. Who cares about that? He'll try to take your head off.
I mean, the second Abus gets his back against the fence, he's just going to fold. I mean, it drove me insane that he had that mentality in that Sean Strickland fight, and then you saw it. The thing that drives me crazy in that Kyle fight is like he's like laughing and having fun in there. There's nothing wrong with that, but are you a guy or are you not? Like he missed a shot on Kyle, and he's like, almost had you, bro. And then like Kyle lands a shot, and he's like, I mean, some people are about it, and some people are just here to just, do what they got to do. And I think Abus is a little bit fraudulent when it comes to actually being a competitor and being one of those guys. And if push comes to shove, I'll trust Warlley.
Yeah, I mean, especially if it's going to be a drag 'em out war. But I'm definitely avoiding the $9,000 in DraftKings. While if Abus wins, it will be worth that money because Warlley can get finished, and it's not any fault of his own. His chin just gives out. And Abus does have that power. He's got plenty of finishes outside the UFC. I would be careful on this fight. If you want to bet on Abus, bet on him. You want to parlay him, do him and Tom Nolan and leave the parlay there and don't use him again.
You know what this could look like too is the Anthony Smith and Vitor fight where Vitor just got frustrated early, went to something that he wasn't comfortable with, right, with the wrestling. I think the same thing could happen here. The pressure a little bit too much. All of a sudden, Warlley is hanging around a little bit longer than you thought he was going to. You get a little bit frustrated. You want to change up the game plan. You go to the we could have a carbon copy of this where Abus is a little bit frustrated, goes to the wrestling, and gets fucking guillotined.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I think it's the same mentality, too, because Vitor, after that fight, Like, you don't want to talk about not even for skill wise, but talk about mentality wise. For Fade, Vitor, an undefeated prospect in his hometown after that loss, wasn't head down, pissed, thinking about it, like frustrated.
Yeah, he was just
himself.
smiling.
He was smiling. He didn't give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck. He's a good looking guy that fights and he's having fun. He didn't give a fuck about competing. I think Abus is the same type of dude.
I mean, that could be. That quite literally could be. I mean, that's a good point. That's a good point. But we got
I just hate people that don't fucking compete.
I don't know. Listen, did you see what happened with bare knuckle fighting this past weekend? I didn't watch the fight. I didn't watch the fight. I only saw the owner's press conference.
Thing?
No, I guess somebody like didn't fight, like just showed up like a pussy, and the owner in the press conference was like, "This guy got like the Pussy of the Night award. I don't pay you to come out here and not fight. Like, if you get knocked out, but you went out there and you fought your ass off, you will always have a job here. But if you go out there and just lay down, you're a bum, you're a loser." Like, he like went in on him.
Right.
And Dana White did that back in the day to Damian Maia. I think it was Damian Maia.
He just trashed Waldo.
He did trash Waldo. But trashing what, like, all right, he trashed Damian Maia in a main event against Anderson Silva. I can understand that. Dude, trashing Waldo, who fought this 6'7" monster of a human being. What did you want? He's not a wrestler. He wrestled to keep his head attached to his body. What do you want that guy to do? You know what I mean? What else should he have done? You want him to stand there swinging wild and give up his career? Like, no.
Do more on the ground, probably.
He's not. He doesn't know what he's doing on the ground. That's, you know what I mean? Like, he just got it there and was like, oh, okay. Oh, and this guy's not moving? It's like, because if he stood there and he got knocked out cold, Dana wouldn't hesitate to use him as a highlight reel and give him another couple of bad matchups and kick him out of the UFC.
Right.
Dana's a bit of a nudge. If you do want to unlock everything at premium, WeWantPicks.com, click become a member at the top. It is the most robust service in this space, period. End of story. And I have another story for you. I'll give you $50. This is the story of somebody that goes to WeWantPicks.com/bets. They do click on one of the affiliate links and they do make an account. And then we send them $50 as a thank you because we got paid. And that's quite the story. And that story is available to anybody. You don't need to be a premium member. You don't even need to like us. WeWantPicks.com/bets. Use the link, sign up, make a deposit. They will pay us. It's affiliate marketing. I'm going to slice off some of that money and I'm going to give it right back to you. And if you do want to send us some mail, we will open it live. Well, it's not live, but we will open it on the Fight Foods vlog. UFC 302 is coming up. That is the next official mail day. If you want to send something, a letter, great. If you want to send something, you're a small business, I'm happy to wear it, happy to showcase it. Look what we just did for Twill Outdoors and their hammock. We Want Picks, P.O. Box 406, Prosper, Texas 75078. My neighbor, this guy's all over the place. He texted, I'm not even watching anymore, and then sent me pictures from today. And then he texted a screenshot of this stream, and Tarzan Strickland said, Angelo's getting cooked, because I was reading the text from him, and he said, look at the last comment. I'll take that point. Thank you.